I want to take a few minutes to talk about an aspect of aviation that is rarely discussed publicly. In fact, it's one of the tools of the trade that never makes the news. Talking about human factors. Human factors like fatigue, stress, complacency, or distraction. Human factors have played a part, maybe 80%, in all aviation accidents. But there's another aspect of human factors that doesn't get a lot of discussion, and that is the role of communications. And let me give you a little bit of background about how this can be very deadly. The biggest airline disaster occurred in 1977 between two jumbo jets, two 747s, at a place called Tenerife in the Canary Islands, a possession of Spain off the east coast of Africa. Long story short, it involved a number of airplanes that were headed to a particular airport but found themselves forced to divert to another airport because of a bomb threat at the primary airport. This airport at Tenerife was overcrowded with all the airplanes diverting there and waiting release. Well, when it came time to release the airplanes, two of them managed to smack into each other. And the reasons for that are a combination of human factors, bad communication from all parties, and just a lack of awareness. What really actually happened was that under dense fog conditions, one airplane began its takeoff roll while another airplane was on the runway. And they met in the middle of the fog and they were unable to stop and they collided. All lives were lost. Upon review, it was revealed that one of the mitigating factors was a very poor communication between the control tower and the pilots in both aircraft. But the key thing was the decision of one of the captains of one of the airplanes, of the KLM airplane, to take off without a valid clearance. And when he smacked into the Pan Am 747, halfway down the runway, it was too late. Communication is vital. As a result of that accident, that human factor's failure, something called crew resource management was developed. Crew resource management is basically a philosophy that gives different techniques on how to identify threats, how to resolve conflicts, and how to clear up confusion. It became a part of the airline industry probably about 1981. It actually became a standard. And annually, all airline pilots have to go through some kind of crew resource management training every 6 months, between 6 months to 18 months. Everyone has to do that. And it's important for everyone to be on the same page. There are several things that you can learn from this. Is that when you learn to communicate appropriately, it's less likely that you'll have conflicts in terms of what should be done, how it should be done, when it should be done, not only between air traffic control and pilots in the cockpit, but between the pilots themselves. In a good situation, your rate of error correction is equal to the rate of error detection. And on a study many years ago, it was found that airline pilots commit, on average, 5 mistakes per hour, maybe a little less than an hour. But it also found that they correct 5 mistakes per hour. And these mistakes are often very, very small things. Misunderstanding a clearance, a misunderstanding a word or something. But it's worked out. And that's worked out because both members of the cockpit, or all members of the cockpit, are listening. And when we hear something different, we need to have a resolution on exactly what it's supposed to be. Something is critical of, are we clear to take off? Yeah, I think we are. Well, yeah, I think we are is not good. I think is not a good response. Either you are or you aren't. And if you're not sure, it's important to find out. In the case of the crash at Tenerife, the KLM captain was rushing, and he said, "Time to go." And he thought that the control tower cleared them. And the first officer said, "No, I don't think so." But basically, the captain went on anyway, and the rest is history, a very painful history. And as a result of that accident, the captain was no longer considered infallible. And sometimes it's kind of a slippery slope with an air crew when a junior crew member challenges a senior crew member. But now that's important because a captain, more experienced, generally speaking, can make mistakes. We can all make mistakes. So a good crew will be able to communicate with each other and know exactly what's going on. And when a question comes up, they need to work it out and know what they should do. That includes airline crew members, as well as maintenance people, as well as everyone that works on a team. That's all for today. Thank you.